But you guys, wow. Steven Universe Future is here, and it is amazing. There's a lot to unpack, so let's just jump right into it. I don't want to waste a lot of your time, but I do have some theories on Pink Steven. I want to talk about some of the things that happened, so let's get started. First episode was Little Homeschool. And Little Homeschool was interesting for a variety of reasons. There was some speculation amongst fans that the gem that Steven uncorrupted at the beginning of the episode was going to be a rose quartz based upon its pink color and the shape of its gemstone and all that. That turned out not to be the case. The gem was actually it was unspecified, but it seemed to be some kind of a jasper, I would imagine, and it didn't even turn out to be the focus of the episode. It had this gem had very little screen time. She was taken by Steven to the school and told, you can be whatever you want to be, like the old army commercials, be all you can be. And she was set loose to let her imagination run free while Steven and Amethyst went and ate some French fries. And I love that Steven is eating actual French fries now. He's not eating fry bits anymore. He's graduated. Our little boy has grown up. But the focus of the episode turned out to be, of all things, Jasper. A lot of fans speculated from the trailer that Jasper was going to be one of the main antagonists, if not the main antagonist of the series, because she appeared in the trailer and there was this voiceover, "You are not my diamond." And again, this turned out not to be the case. This one particular episode showed her living as a hermit in a cave, just very opposed to Steven's way of doing things, not comfortable at all. She wasn't really as antagonistic towards Steven as she used to be. She didn't like Steven, but she wasn't trying to destroy him. She just didn't like him and didn't want him around and didn't understand his way of doing things, didn't like his way of doing things. They got into a fist fight, which was the first time that Pink Steven came out, which only fueled more speculation as what was going on here. People have called it like his Super Saiyan form. I don't think that's what it is. And this pink form appeared multiple times in pretty much every episode that's aired so far. It appeared in the second episode, which was Guidance, when Steven and Amethyst fused into Smoky Quartz, and they were trying to save the people on the roller coaster. The pink they began to glow pink, and suddenly time stopped, or it really slowed down. They managed to do all these things because apparently when he's fused and goes Pink Steven, he moves so fast that everything else it just stops. And I thought that was a very interesting ability that he's never manifested before. It appeared in the next episode, Rosebuds, because in that particular episode, he ends up entertaining 3 actual rose quartzes who come to his house after the Zoomans for some reason show up. I wish that they would explain exactly at what point they went from being catered to and very babyish and very dependent upon their captors to running the ship and piloting the ship and making demands and telling Steven that Greg was not welcome and being very firm about it. It was so very unlike them. It was a strange thing. It was just like, it just caught me off guard. It's like, who are these people? Like, these were the same people who listened to the little robotic voice, tell them when to eat, when to play, when to sleep, when the choosing was. These guys are now in charge, and Holly Blue is just like, oh, woe is me. Nobody listens to me. Nobody cares about me. Woe is me. Well, while they're calling all the shots. But they introduce Steven to these new rose quartzes, and he has to restrain himself from this pink form multiple times because it just keeps trying to come out. The same thing happened in the following episode with volleyball when the 2 pink pearls met, and they kept talking about all the things that Pink Diamond did to them, and it's just an interesting thing. And my theory on that is that I don't think it's a Super Saiyan form, so to speak. For lack of a better term, is what people are calling it, a Super Saiyan, supercharged form. what I think it is it's just more of raw gem power coming out. It's gems, pure gems, not half breeds, like Steven, but pure gems like amethyst and garnet and any other gem that you see. They are incredibly powerful. They can do things like smash boulders with their fists and run incredibly fast, and they have this amazing strength and agility and stamina, and they're just like machines. And Steven has shown these abilities to some degree. Like, he has what he called in the movie his super Steven strength when he tried to lift the injector up out of the ground. But these abilities up to this point have been incredibly limited. And I think what Pink Steven is more of that natural gem ability manifesting. Like, he's turning pink because he's becoming more gem-like. Like, more of his inherent gem nature is coming out. Like, this is all, it's not Pink Diamond resurfacing. It's not his pink doppelganger trying to come out of his body. I think it's just Steven tapping more into his raw gem abilities without even realizing it. He has so much power he's never even touched before. I mean, he is a hybrid of a diamond and a human. He has all the power of a Gem Society monarch hidden inside of his gem. And that is an incredible amount of power. Like, the diamonds are the most powerful beings in Gem Society. They're hands down created to be the most superior beings in their race. They have the most power. They have the most strength. They, aside from fusions, they are the tallest, single gems in their society. Like, unless you fuse, you're not going to find the gem bigger than they are. And so they are meant to be in every possible way superior to every other gem. And so Steven has this inside of him, and he has up to this point only tapped, maybe like I would say like maybe 25% of that. He hasn't really. I mean, he's got abilities like healing, and he can summon his shield, and he can float. And these abilities that have manifested again and again that he's always had trouble controlling at first. And his ability to resurrect the dead, that he's only used once and never again since. These things that he can do. And how many more are lying dormant inside of him? How much more raw power does he have? And I think that's what's coming out as he matures, as he grows, and as he becomes more developed. He gains the ability to just focus that raw power. That's why he was able to beat Jasper in the first episode. When they got into the fist fight and Steven just mauled her when he turned pink. Like, that, there was just absolutely no contest. Like, Steven whooped the living crap out of Jasper and, answered Jasper's challenge. You've never beaten me one-on-one. Well, now I have. What you going to do? Step up. And I think there's more of that to come. And I think he's going to discover this as time goes on. It's just like everything else about him, as he matures, as his state of mind progresses, he becomes more and more attuned to everything that he can do. Like his physical appearance. In the episode Too Many Birthdays, Steven showed the ability to be able to change his physical appearance and his age depending on his mindset. He went from very young to a teenager to an adult to middle-aged to very old to very, very old, before finally settling back into his natural form. And there was an underlying theme of that also throughout the entire show that you had to be aware of it to catch. Steven stagnated, as Greg put it. As he got to a certain age, he stopped growing. He stopped changing. He just stayed in this form, which is why Connie was so surprised that he was actually 14 years old, because he didn't grow anymore. And it was up to that point that he really started to want to become an active part of the Crystal Gems, I believe, at that point. And the Crystal Gems treated him like a child. They treated him like an underling. They didn't take him seriously. They were very condescending toward him. They wouldn't let him go on missions. They treated him like a little baby. And so because he was treated like he was worthless and like he was young and feeble, his natural appearance refused to change. He stayed in that form for many years. And if you notice, as the show progressed and they gave him more responsibilities, by the time that we reached Reunited, where Ruby and Sapphire got married and became Garnet permanently again, Steven had not only grown his first facial hair, but was ready to shave it off with the razor that Garnet gave to Greg way back when Steven was an infant. So he had developed enough to start growing facial hair and shave. And so that was showing that as they treated him like an adult, he began to mature like an adult. To the point that when the movie takes place, he's actually grown a neck, he's grown a couple of feet, his voice is deepened, because he's being treated with responsibility. He's treated like an actual gem. And so his mindset has changed to that of, I'm not a little kid. I am a gem in my own right. I have responsibilities. I can do this. I am not feeble. I am not worthless. I am not somebody to be sheltered and protected. I can hold my own. And that's why he grew up. And that's why he matured into an adult, because they treated him differently. And they don't specify that, but it's in the underlying themes. Like if you look at Too Many Birthdays and look at the whole thing in the big picture, it's all there. They never actually say that this is what's happening, but that's exactly what's happening. And the same thing is happening with Pink Steven. Like he has matured and he's matured and he's matured, even past where he met Spinell and had to deal with her psychotic issues. He continues to develop, his own personal style. He continues to develop mentally, physically. He continues to develop his abilities. And so naturally, as he feels more and more confident in himself and he continues to learn and grow as a person and as a gem, more of these abilities are going to manifest. And one of those is Pink Steven. It is not a Super Saiyan form. It's raw gem Steven. That's him finally tapping into this reserve of power that has been laying dormant for his entire life. Diamond power. It makes him stronger than anybody else on his team. Makes him stronger than Garnet. Makes him stronger than Jasper. I don't know if he's stronger than the Diamonds, because the Diamonds would probably be his only equals in Gem Society. But anyway, the series was exceptionally good. If you haven't watched it yet, it's available on the CN app. I'm sure that you can find it through less legitimate sources if that's your thing. I'm sure somebody's uploaded it to YouTube, though I am not encouraging you to do that. And I'm sure that they'll show it in repeats at some point. But I encourage you to watch it. I encourage you to digest, look at every detail, because there's so much there. I mean, there's so much symbolism. There's so many new things. There's the reef where pearls are made, which we've never seen before. They never really touched upon how pearls are made. Like, they're not made in a kindergarten. They are custom made in a facility called the Reef, where you can also buy accessories for them and little add-ons like they're a Barbie doll or something. And so that was very interesting to see. And it was also interesting to see the two pearls at the end of the Steven bomb come together and find closure to their problems in each other. It's almost like they're starting a relationship. I never shipped Pearl or Pearl Squared, or whatever you call that. I never shipped it. I never considered, hey, maybe these two were going to get together. Like, that thought never crossed my mind. Like, I didn't really picture them putting Pearl with anybody, like maybe the pink-haired girl, but she's never reappeared. So I never really pictured them pairing Pearl with anybody. So to see these two pearls not only fuse and become an enormous double pearl fusion, but with them almost coming together in an almost romantic fashion at the end, it was really surprising to see. And I'm all for it. I think it's great. I mean, if they can find some healing in each other, if they can find some closure, if they can get past everything that they've dealt with, the way that Pink Diamond treated both of them. If they can find that in each other, I think that's wonderful. I think that's a wonderful way to close off that particular storyline, rather than just saying, having Pink Pearl and our Pearl just like, I guess I got to deal with this the rest of my life, because Crystal Gem Pearl, she seemed like she had moved past it, but as this episode made clear, she had not. And so it's nice to see that a kind of closure for those characters. But I'm going to sign off here because I've rambled long enough. I absolutely love this. I'm looking forward to next week when the next 2 episodes come out, and those episodes are Bluebird and a very special episode, whatever that means. That sounds like something out of the 90s, like the episode of The Fresh Prince where Carlton bought a gun. Oh, yeah, they always had a very special episode of everything in the 90s, didn't they? So I'm kind of wondering what that's supposed to be. Then the week after that, we have Snow Day and Why So Blue. Why So Blue, I'm guessing, has something to do with Blue Diamond or possibly Lapis Lazuli. After that, on the 28th, which is the week after Christmas, 3 days after Christmas, as a matter of fact, we have Little Graduation, which is, I'm guessing, with the graduating class of the Little Homeworld School, and Prickly Pear, which is, I'm guessing, when we deal with the cactus monster shown in the opening credits. And so I'm looking forward to all that, and I'm hoping that's not all of it. I hope that there's more episodes coming after that. I hope we can at least squeeze at least 20 out of this. Like, let's try and get at least something close to what would normally be a full season of about 24, 25, 26 episodes. I would love to see that. Just one more trip around the sun for this. And then leave it on a good note. The end credits, and I will tell you this, the end credits, and the title cards. I'd wondered about the title cards. I wondered, since it's a new series, how they were into the title cards, and the title cards and the end credits connect in a very interesting way, because when the titles of the new episodes are shown, it's like you're sitting in the driver's seat of Greg's car, and you can see the beach city disappearing in the rearview mirror behind you as you're driving down the road. And then during the end credits is a side view of Greg's car driving away from Beach City. And so it's this symbolic thing of, we're leaving Beach City behind. This is the end of the story. The series is coming to an end. And so we're leaving this behind. We're growing up. We're going on to other things. This is a start of a new journey. And after that, it's over with. And so it's like closing this whole chapter and being done with it. And I think that's very appropriate. Whether Steven's going to leave Beach City at the end, I don't know. I don't know if it's merely symbolic or if that's actually what's going to happen. Steven packs up and leaves like, look, I'm done too. But I'm very eager to see. And so that's really all I have to say. I have been Sawmill Turtle, and I will catch you all very soon.